I'm Rebecca of Pocketful of Poseys. Today's project is another gift project. Last week was my amazing and wonderful mother's birthday, and I decided to make her the American Duchess wrap cape from the 1910s. And it went together pretty well. I made a few mistakes, which you shall see, but on the whole, it was a great project, and I look forward to working on this to scale it up to my size at some point as well. So the first thing I had to do was to scale up the pattern to print it out, because of course with the pattern's just, you know, on a little grid. And so I did that in Gimp, and my wonderful husband helped me do that because maths and things. So this is how it went. Here we go. To get started, I printed and taped together my scaled up pattern. If you want to learn how to scale up a gridded pattern in Gimp, then check out my video that I'm releasing at the same time as this one, just as a separate video, so that you can come back to just that video if you need to see a tutorial on how to scale up a pattern in Gimp. My mom is close to the pattern measurements, so I didn't really change anything size-wise. And I also plan on grading up this pattern to fit me at some point, but that can't be done in Gimp, at least as far as I know how to do it, and my husband doesn't know offhand how to do it. So, because if you just scale it up, it's going to increase the size of all parts of it, so it might not end up right if you just need to expand the width of something, for example. So I think I'll need to do that with good old paper, pencil, and math. I pinned the pattern pieces to the lining fabric. I used a poly cotton blend shirting material. Didn't want to line in wool also because this is the Deep South and we don't need that much warmth. I traced the darts with my chalk pencil. Then I cut out all of the lining pieces. I notched and marked the lining. I realized at this point that I forgot to add seam allowance. Next, I pinned the darts. I sewed the darts with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I got started on assembly. First, I pinned the front wrap pieces to the cape shoulder seams, matching notches. Next, I pinned the cape sleeves to the back cape and front pieces. This confused me a little, then I realized that I had sewn the front pieces in backwards. Seam ripping time. I got that mistake fixed and continued on pinning the cape sleeves in. Before sewing it together, I checked the fit on Joan, which is pretty close to my mom's measurements. To the machine! I sewed the cape sleeves in, and throughout this project, I just used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Since I had forgotten to add seam allowance, it worked out just fine. For the outer cape fabric, I used a navy cashmere wool blend. Got some synthetic in it as well. My mom's favorite color is blue, and I thought this would be very pretty. I repeated all of the same steps from the lining. I I sewed the two collar pieces together, and I did use the same wool for both layers of the collar. Then I pinned the collar to the neckline of the cape. This fabric frayed a lot, and I had a little trouble at some points getting it to obey, but I persevered and sewed the collar down. Then I pinned the lining to the fashion fabric. I sewed them together, leaving an opening to turn. After trimming the seam allowance just a tiny bit, because remember I only used a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I ironed and then I turned it out. I sewed up the opening that I had used to turn it out. I chose to use ties to close so my mom could adjust it as needed. I had this pretty blue and gold jacquard ribbon in my stash. I did the final finishing work by hand, closing up the ends of the ties and adding the ribbon and just making sure that was all nice and neat. And now here is my beautiful mama in her new cape. I think it looks lovely on her and she was very happy with it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. And if you'd like to support the channel further, I have a Ko-fi account and that is linked down below. So stay tuned for next week, my big Christmas project. I will have that video out on Christmas Day. And also stay tuned for some channel announcements coming up soon. Again, thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you again on our next sewing adventure. Bye!